Kia ora. My name is Waikaremoana Waitoki, and I am from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm at the University of Waikato, and I am a clinical psychologist and the past president of the New Zealand Psychological Society. I do the work around enabling communities to flourish, individual flourishing, and my main research is on language and cultural revitalisation. Revitalisation is the main reason that I'm passionate about this, because having been through a Western system of education, and it takes, in New Zealand, similar to Australia, it can take 7 years to train as a psychologist. And along the way, I really saw myself reflected back in psychology. And yet I knew that my people were the most represented in mental health statistics. We have all of those negative statistics. And what inspired me was to create a system that reflected back Indigenous peoples. So language, culture, knowledge, science, creative arts, family values, environmental connection, those are the things that inspire me, and that needs to be present for our people to feel, and maybe that's not the right word, but we will survive better if we see ourselves reflected back. And it's through all of those things. And I'm really clear that I don't want to provide a Western lens on life. I want to provide an Indigenous lens on life, or that people have a choice. Well, I think the best thing that's come out of the seminar today is connection. We just talked. So we talked about things that are really important to us, and we have the same aspirations. So we know that for our Indigenous lot, our Indigenous mob, to survive and to survive well, we need to have connection to culture and language. And they each believe that as well. And so it's so easy to just talk about something that you're really passionate about because everyone understands it, so it's safe. There's a synergy there as well as new ideas. So listening to Clinton talk about wanting to have an Indigenous psychology, which is, I love that because it challenges the frame. So they are activists, they're leaders, they're learners, and I really think are hope for the future. That's what I enjoyed about today, just in that one seminar. Connection to culture. So on the one hand, connection to culture is medicine. It's a response to what we know is that culture and connection was disrupted, and if not actively attempted to be eliminated from our lives. And so having a connection to culture means to me that you connect to something that is from your history, your people, your family. In our language, we call it our whakapapa. And our whakapapa, or our genealogy, stretches back just to the beginning of time. And our understanding of that is our science, it's our technology, it's our creative arts, it's our humanities, it's our knowledge. So connecting to culture means that you're connecting to this vast universe of knowledge. And that is what we need to survive and to flourish and to pass on to our children, so that they're learning all the time, not only to live in this world, but to live in their cultural world. Yeah. I hope for flourishing. I hope for safety. I hope for a belief that our children and our communities can exist without fear, and that they do that feeling comfortable and confident in speaking their language, in being who they are, and making a noise, and laughing, and just hanging out and being Indigenous without any fear. That I would want them to contribute their life essence to the cosmology of the world, that they become part of the system of life, and that they give, and they do that with joy. And I don't mean that you've got to be happy all the time, but that you give, that your life essence goes back into the cosmology, and that we all share in that. And it kind of feels really weird saying that, and it's something that I've not thought of before. But I know that we are all of the star system. We're made up of the same elements as the stars. And I would want to see them being one of those stars, flourishing, vibrant, have lived life to the fullest potential. What I love about today is that each of us brought our strengths, and we brought our hopes and our belief that things can be better. And knowing that there are people here who are committed, and we're committed because there have been others before us who are and have been committed, committed to solutions, is really important. I think that anyone who feels that things are hard, in whatever capacity, that if they know that there are people who will support them, I hope that makes a difference. I've worked against racism, and I've worked to chase something and look for something that lots of people don't believe exists, which is Indigenous knowledge, in the strength that it actually existed. And so now more than ever, I genuinely believe that we do have our knowledge, but what we actually need is for racism to end. And we need oppression to end. And we need for Indigenous knowledge to be able to come to its full potential. And we need to share that knowledge. We need misogyny to end, and we need white supremacy to end. When that happens, we'll have a better world. It's not just racism, though. It's racism, it's epistemic racism, which is a racism around which knowledge matters. Yeah. It's gender violence, gender-based violence. It's faith-based violence. It's really not believing that there are other ways of being. And that to me is where our world would be a much better place if we genuinely believed that other knowledge, other values, other beliefs are equally powerful.